To more of our whys, traditional classes are time-based, which a lot of those examples illustrated. Too often, students end up with too much time or not enough time on their hands. This is why our students get bored. This is why our students get frustrated. This is why our students feel left out. Learning is a natural process. Whether someone's guiding us through it or not, we're always learning. And it happens at a different pace for different people. And that's just common sense. Again, all of the colleagues that I've worked with over my years, and you guys are here too, some of you, many of the school administrators, many of the schools' missions and visions and philosophies want to embrace this, but because of that lock of that system and that size, they're not able to embrace the notion that we don't have to move at a set pace. We don't have to move at a set pace. We can set the standards, we can set the ideas that we want our students to accomplish, and we can give them whatever time it takes. We actually have the ability to do that. Now, it's a 4-year program, so at some point we have to decide if we want 4 to become 5, which generally we want to fit within that structure. But it takes what it takes, and it takes the time that it takes, and that's okay, as learning as a process. So that's another big why of starting this, is because we can do that. Our other main function here for why is that traditional classes isolate academic subjects into blocks. And we just don't believe that that's the most effective way to learn. We don't even believe it's the most effective way to address class subjects like English, math, science, social studies. They're integrated. They're integrated in our lives. They're integrated in our jobs. They're integrated in the things that we do and in our cultures. So they should be integrated in the way that we learn also. Deep learning, learning to really know who you are and what you know, happens in an interdisciplinary way, in a way that goes across subjects. It focuses on ideas, concepts, and projects. And that's what we really seek to do by opening up that class day and not having class subjects. We focus on the ideas, the concepts, the process, and the projects of what we can create and learn as a whole. The other big one for us is grades, which as they stand now, even in my own classes, they communicate a lot of mixed signals. One grade might be for your ability or your performance. One grade might be for your compliance, your ability to turn something in on time. The fact that you completed a worksheet, congratulations, you got 10 points. Does that 100% A that you got on that handout mean that you've learned anything? Does it mean that you know anything? I'm looking to see if you guys, how that seems to register for you. How accurate is an A through F scale in what we learn and what we know, and in representing what we learn and what we know? Given that it's a kitchen sink mentality where we'll give you, like I say, you get 10 points for turning it in, or you get 0 points because you didn't do it on time, what are we trying to represent, and what are we trying to register and assess with our kids? It's a bit of a mishmash right now in most systems. So what we seek to do is pull out our assessment measures. We seek to look at what students have mastered in terms of content, concepts, skills, and abilities, and we provide evidence of learning to go along with that assessment. And that's a quick overview that we'll have a little bit of a deeper dive in just a minute. Another why here, just a couple more whys, is that innovation is nothing new. Again, going with that kind of buzzword of project-based learning, I keep seeing that buzz of innovation across schools everywhere. We have to learn to innovate. We have to be innovative. We have to, and I look and see, I don't know exactly what that means a lot of times. A lot of times to me it looks like we have to have shiny new things that plug in somewhere. It looks like great technology, and it looks like a cool center that has lots of hubs of things. But to me, innovation has always been around. And the heart of innovation is that it's us facing challenges and overcoming them. It's not anything new, right? It is new to our students. It's new to you. It's new to you when it's a challenge that you've never seen before. A lot of my examples come from that journalism world because, again, I spent so much time in there teaching it. I had a mentor and colleague who always said, when the kids want to write about, how terrible the tardy policy is, I have to remind myself that, okay, I need to let them, even though I've seen it for the past 20 years, they've written about it. How many times can we write about it? We can write about it a lot because you're experiencing it for the first time, because it's completely new to you, and because it is now your problem to solve. yours and yours, right? It's your problem to solve now. What we need to do is face the problems and look at the problems that our students are dealing with. And we need to understand how to find solutions for those. And that's what innovation is. It doesn't matter if it's electric, non-electric, if it's digital, if it drives or flies, or what it does, if it's real or augmented. The idea in the heart of innovation is facing a challenge and solving that challenge, finding the solution to that challenge. I saw that happen in classrooms where we had very, very little because we needed to. Because if we wanted to make this publication, we had to make the computer that had enough memory to do it. And that's what our students, we feel, need to be doing. They need to be starting from the bottom rather than jumping into the latest innovation. We want them starting at the beginning to innovate for themselves, because I think that we're a little bit too far along the ladder right now when we try to throw you guys into, here's the newest and latest and greatest, and you haven't had an opportunity to develop your own newest ideas in relation to just normal life, right? You haven't had the time to sit down and think about, these are just my normal problems, how do I solve them? And we want you to do that virtually too. So I think that we look at innovation as something that is at the center of learning, but it's also more about facing challenges than it is about buying into anything newfangled. Another key element here is that information is everywhere. If you want to get a high school education and nothing else, traditional high school education, I would encourage you to just go home and use Google, because you could do it. You could get a college education through Google at this point if you had the skill and resource to do that. The information is all out there now. So what we need are the skills to find the information and to know if that information is good. And that's an area of learning that I think we aren't moving fast enough in traditional school systems again. And that's where we really want to focus. Accessing and evaluating information, understanding, is the thing that I'm seeing worth seeing? Is it accurate? Is it right? Is it good? Does it work for me? Does it do what I need it to do? That's what we want to bring to you guys, because that's where your skill will need to lie now. We can get all of the basic information we need pretty much at the drop of a hat. I'm going to take my phone out and look up a full English curriculum right now and follow it if I wanted to. But who developed that English curriculum? Where did it come from? And those are the big questions that we want to take our students through to really be able to answer on their own.